This week, the bullets were flying, the combos were broken, and the fatalities finished. You're watching the Podium. G'day gamers and welcome to the Podium, where we take a look at the biggest hits, epic takedowns and classic comebacks from the world of esports. I am joined in a t-shirt much like my own, Mr. Joe Gilroy.
Bio Uche is doing jokes about my shirts now. I see he's stealing that from me. That's good.
Yeah, well, we're coordinating wardrobes and yes, doing our best to make this the most professional show that you can see on the internet.
Yeah.
And part of that show is the world of esports, and there's lots going on. There's lots of action this week, and we're taking a look at some of the Asian qualifiers for one of the major international tournaments that you noticed.
Yeah, it's a step to a step to a step, but it was the ANZ qualifiers for the Asia Minor, for the major, the Faceit Major, and so yeah, it was a bit of a weird one actually. We're going to watch Tainted Minds put some work in. They managed to qualify, which is awesome. They're going along. They'll be like competing against the likes of Renegades. Like in the Asia Minor and Tyloo and stuff like that, really good teams. But this actual qualifiers themselves, it was hard to find streams. The seating was very weird, and yeah, I don't know. It just felt like we were sort of forgotten in Oceania.
Which is something where it's not necessarily unaccustomed to down here.
No.
Like we are the forgotten black sheep of the world of most things, and esports seems to be no different. But yeah, like it was a bit strange that coverage was hard to find, and like you said, the seeding. So we had the premium teams going up against each other in the first match, resulting in a rather mundane finish to the qualifiers.
Yeah, definitely. That's not the casting that that was able to be put together was awesome, and so yeah. I thought it was a scrappy effort, but at the end of the day, it was a little bit disappointing. Still, some excellent stuff. We're going to watch Yam get an ace. It's on an Econ round, but ace is an ace, right? Let's have a look.
So Sicko has given the Max 10 over to Ali to hold on to the Deagle, but he'll be found very early by Yam from Silo, or Marshmallow, whatever you want to call it. 16-0. Easy for Tainted. Ooh, Alistair. Okay, Ali doing some damage, E-Mag. We'll find it. Hats is there to take down Burn, but Yam! What a perfect spray transfer, there. Has found 3 in the round already. And now it will be Hats making his way into Annex. That's a 4K for Yam, and this could certainly be a clippable offense. Shout out to my boy Juju. Highlights as Yam.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's slick. He can't be stopped. Yeah, at the end of the day, they'll go on, they'll compete, they'll still get some practice against some really good teams.
Yeah.
Hopefully they get through. I'd love to see Renegades and Tainted Minds get all the way through. That'd be awesome, and head to the major. But
yeah, well, the regional minors are going to be held at Twickenham Stadium in the UK, so it's obviously a big deal. The tournament's, there's a lot going on here, and $50,000 prize money. We were talking about $100 million last week, so a bit of a difference there, but. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out, and hopefully the teams can make an impression, to the point where we might see a little more recognition next time around.
I think that's probably the craziest thing about all of this is that like you were saying, we are used to being sort of forgotten about a little bit. But for this to come so shortly after IEM Sydney,
right? Because we have seen some really great tournaments of late, right? Like it was building so nicely with really great international contests, great local teams, really fantastic results, and then it's like, and now I feel like I've dropped the ball with Faceit.
And now this, oops, we forgot. Do this.
Yeah.
Oh
well, it's all right. We've still got our boys to get behind, so we'll be right there with them. Now we've seen a fair bit of action in the fighting game scene with BAM 10 last week, but now we're taking a look at Combo Breaker 2018 with the Mortal Kombat XL.
Yeah. So. We had a couple of Aussies go over to it. It was held in Chicago. It only just ended, shortly before we filmed this. But it's a spectacular fighting game festival. It's awesome for fans of fighting games, all kinds of fighting games. They play all kinds like esoteric shit that nobody's playing anywhere. So it's really good for that kind of stuff. But we had Darksiders Wasminator get 5th in the Mortal Kombat XL tournament, and yeah, it was something else. Have a look at him clutch out this victory. It was pretty close.
Oh my god! Goes for the delayed overhead, but Damager going in swinging. Lina has some amazing low pokes as well, so to be honest with you, you can get away with mashing in some instances. Oh! Nice confirm, plus frames. The read, but no punish on the grab. A little bit too late.
Oh, that's some good hits done right there.
Yeah, he's out to break. All right, so if we do go into a round 3, which we might not, he has no stamina though.
Oh my goodness!
The reset. Waz should take this game now. There we go, Waz fighting hard for that one. I was prepared for that to go into a round 3.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome effort there.
I mean, like, everyone had written him off. I think they were ready to go to the next round, and yeah, he managed to put it together. He didn't go so well in the next game. He faced off against Echo Fox's Scar, who was a grand finalist in the end, but yeah, he was reverse swept. So he was up against Scar, and then he lost the following 3 games. But
the effort was good though. You won a lot of fans out of the tournament.
Yeah. I think a lot of people will wake up to Aussie fighting games thanks to his efforts, because yeah, he put on quite a show. Obviously, Mortal Kombat isn't quite as popular as Injustice in some stages, but
it does have its cult following though.
Exactly.
Like there's been a lot of chatter about it because this is the first time it was at Combo Breaker, so there's a lot of like positive talk in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, I think that's one of the most important things, to show up on a stage that people really care about, and that's what he did, which is awesome.
Yeah, great work. Now, it wouldn't be a wrap-up of the esports action without a look at the OCS, which is continuing at the moment.
I mean, we've done a couple without a wrap-up of the OCS, but that's fair. Yeah, no, it is continuing. It continues. It's still awesome. I'm really enjoying the Challenger Series out of the OPL. I think they're doing fantastic stuff in incentivizing, young players or up-and-coming players to get in and practice and play and compete. And so we're seeing more and more of that every single week. It's going to continue, and I think that's really cool. This week, I think it's Intuition and is it the Chiefs are still undefeated, but the Dire Cubs are no longer undefeated.
Yes.
So they fell this week to the Essendon Bombers Academy team.
The B-52s,
the
yes.
B-52s. Yeah, it was a good match. They had them on the ropes. The Cubs nearly came back. They came real close to coming back with a great team fight in I think it was the bottom lane near the end of the game. But the Bombers stayed cool and they managed to finish it off. They hid in some bushes to get the win. Have a look at the
Always a great
highlight.
strategy.
Yeah. This is brilliant, and it's going to pay off. Udisoft, you need to put something in there, but he's going to get the knock-up. They've found him out. Katsuri goes down. Udisoft could be next, and the Ornhorn won't find one. Johnson, he's nommed up. He looks like a tasty man for a double kill, and Bombers, they do it again.
They can potentially end here. I think the safer play is to go top, take an extra inhib, but they are going to look for it.
There you go. So we've also got the OPL, which will be kicking off in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Essendon Football Club's been one of the, flagship, kind of acquisition style, like big Aussie football club that's getting involved. How do you think they'll go in the new competition?
I think, Split 2 is an opportunity for them to really show off how much they've grown. You could see by the end of Split 1 that they were actually finding their form and finding a place within the OPL. They were getting some wins on the board. I think that's, the good thing about losing early on is that the only way is up, right?
Yeah. You either win or you learn, right? But it's a really good experiment, because a lot of the either professional teams or brands that are looking at team play will be looking at Essendon as kind of that example, right? Because they were the first to get in there. So it'd be really good to see how they go and see if some of the learnings that the football club can bring actually translates to on the pitch success.
Yeah, definitely. Just to clarify, the first with the actual brand behind it. I mean, we don't want to discount the Adelaide team. I'm
saying it's one of the
I'm only
first.
saying it because Adelaide has a hectic chip on their shoulder about being forgotten. So
I love Adelaide. One of my no, I do genuinely do.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
No. No, but I was just saying, like, but along with Adelaide Football Club, you know, they are one of the kind of pioneers in the space. So it obviously their success will beget other success when it comes to sponsorship and support and all the kinds of things that we want to see to grow the local scene.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that we're going to see more and more of it as the OPL continues.
Well, it's about dinner time now, and how appropriate that we switch to some PUBG.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my best.
You're just going to leave it hang? Okay, fine. The ESU continues. The Oceanic Invite series continues. And there were some great matches this week. I think it's got me, there's a lot getting me back into PUBG or spectating PUBG. Obviously, the Fortnite announcement last week got me back into watching Battle Royales as an esport. But also this week we've got the PGI, the Invitational, the big PUBG $2 million Invitational. The Oceanic Qualifiers start this weekend. And the ESU is a really good way to size up the form of everyone. Atletico in particular are looking amazing. They've got 2 wins on the weekend, 2 dinners.
Yep.
We're going to watch one of them now. Let's have a look.
Oh, good nade coming in as Lynxie's knocked. Lynxie's knocked. Heifer gets a knock onto Nick. Neff and drops the Matic. Juicy's still down. 2v1 and F finish it off.
Yeah, they have. And so it's been, like we've discussed in previous episodes, it is fairly much we're seeing the same kind of results. Like Atletico, taking out, the chicken dinners fairly consistently, with a fairly skewed playing field. How do you think that will affect in the coming tournaments? Like, do you think we'll see similar kind of things? Like, are there teams kind of on the periphery that might cut into some of that success?
The North American qualifiers actually have been done already, and there've been some shockers, some surprises. I think while battle royales are more competitive than a lot of people think because RNG isn't as big a factor when you are actively attempting to counter its effects. There is still an element of randomness, and that can be anything from, the circle itself to the fact that 80 teams are playing. And I guarantee you, Atletico haven't played against 79 other professional teams. Yeah. So they're going to see some stuff that they haven't seen before, and it's going to be hard to deal with that stuff. And I mean, there's always shenanigans in the line out. So, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah,
and we've talked on the show about some of the leagues, not really having environments which are conducive to bringing young players up, with some exceptions. How do you think PUBG will kind of relate to that? Do you think they'll make changes to kind of like even the local playing field, or they don't care? Like, what are they like as a kind of a sport title holder, so to speak?
I think it's very difficult for PUBG and Fortnite as well. I think it's going to be very difficult for them to manage that sort of thing because it's going to take, we're going to need so many teams. Yeah. So, and the other thing is that there's a real risk of collusion. You don't want, the Podium Team A and then the Podium Academy, deciding to team up and even subtly, it's one of those things you really got to manage and you really got to watch out for. And so it's going to be difficult down the road for them to track that sort of stuff, and we'll have to watch as it develops, I guess.
Yeah. Well, all we can do is just get more quality games locally, and and use that as a means to help younger players and teams progress.
Yeah, 100%.
And there you have it, another great weekend of action from across the world of esports, and a lot of different genres in there, which is good to see as well. But that's not all, because we're finally at a point where Gfinity is about to launch.
Yeah, the Elite Series is just around the corner, like literally this weekend. The stadium's opening up. It's going to let people in. We're going to see some competition. That's what matters, right? That's all that matters.
Yeah, so really exciting. And it's close to where we shoot here. The Hoyt's Stadium will be next door, and so exciting. We've been covering it for a while, like the lead up throughout the months, and it's finally here. So it'll be really exciting to see it in action. What are you expecting out of the first week?
Well, first week's going to be interesting, I think. It's going to be weird seeing all these draft players fold into the formats that the many teams. I mean, there's a lot of established teams already in place for Gfinity, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they wrap their draft players in, because I think it's really important that they give them some play time. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But yeah, you know, mostly I think Rocket League is going to be awesome, and the Counter-Strike is going to be super interesting because of that team format and because of how important team play is in Counter-Strike. So
yeah, no, it's really good. So, you know, we've had some good momentum leading up to this weekend. So really excited to see how it rolls out. But that's not even the only game in town this weekend, because we have the AEL University Cup going on as well.
it's true. Your alma mater, the QUT, they're kicking on. They're playing in the Counter-Strike. They're doing their best. So I think they've got a good chance to win too.
Yeah, no, that's great to see. You know, I'll have to dust off the QUT merch from all those years ago and
Of course.
go fighting spatchcocks.
Oh, yeah.
Is that? I'm not sure. No, we didn't have a mascot. But yeah, it's. I think it was the QUT Dropouts. Yeah. But yeah, so it should be exciting actually. So it's a really good weekend to be a fan in Sydney, I can tell you.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff coming to Sydney this weekend, which is good. It's convenient for us.
Yeah. So that's what's coming up this weekend. But before we sign off, there's just something that's been on our nerves that's kind of been getting to us that we just thought we needed to bring to light through this massive platform that we have here.
Of course,
on the
we have
Podium.
this huge platform, and yeah, they announced a new character for Street Fighter at Combo Breaker, Cody, and he is, well, just watch the clip. Let's have a look.
Cody Travers is a repeat violent offender, a failed vigilante, and he's not fit to be mayor of Metro City. Your city deserves better. You deserve better. It's time to impeach Cody. He's a thug. Let's send him back to his cell. It's where he belongs.
Yeah, I'll return all right. To my cell. That's where I belong. That's where I belong.
Paid for by the committee to impeach Cody.